We're in for pull, and today, or yesterday, was the beginning of my new split, which I'm excited for. I've been waiting the last sort of couple of weeks. I've just kind of not been freestyling my sessions. I've been doing very similar to what I would have done previously. However, I wanted to wait for AJ to put a plan together for me, which I know I want to stick to. And in my off seasons, I've always been doing my own training because, you know, as a coach, I believe that I need to be walking the walk, and I need to be, you know, learning new things and learning what works for me. And then what I usually would do is I'd go to AJ with sort of any things or thoughts that I had, and he'd give me his opinion. So we kind of go back and forth on that front. I've got to a point now where I want him to take over what I do completely. So with the nutrition, with the training, and obviously he's put a plan together for me, which is different to what I was doing previously. My split is going to be the following. So day number 1 is going to be push, day number 2 is going to be pull, day number 3 is going to be legs. I normally don't train 3 days in a row. I normally just do 2 days on. So it's going to be interesting to see how I perform over across a 3-day sort of period. I'm then going to take the rest down the 4th day. The 5th day I'm going back in for push. The 6th day I'm going to do legs. So we're not doing pull, we're doing legs this time. And then I'm going to take a rest. So it'll be 2 days on. And then I'll be doing pull, and I'll be taking a rest. So 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, if that makes sense. Big focus for me in these last sort of 6 weeks of off season is to finish strong, get really strong, and just build momentum with what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks. I've already done some things this week that I was doing last week, and I've done like double the amount of reps. So I can clearly see that the novelty of me being in a new environment, settling in, has definitely started to pay off. But we're in for pull. So I did push yesterday, which was really good. That was my shoulder focus session. Pull today, so this session isn't a hip hinge. The hip hinge session has a rest day either side of it because my lower back gets so fatigued that I need rest days either side. So today's session is going to look like this. We're going to start off with D-handle pull now. Exercise number 1 for 2 sets. A Watson chest supported T-bar. Haven't used that in years. Last time I used it, it was like, it looks good, but it's heavy as fuck from what I remember. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we're going to be doing a shoulder width pull down. Probably going to get the prime attachment from behind the counter and use that. I think that's really good. Prime chest supported row, one of my favorite back exercises. Long rope pull down. So really just focus on isolating the lats to finish off. Preacher curl, which is going to be unilateral. D-handle drag curl, and then we're going to finish off with a reverse pec deck. Essentially that's what it's going to look like. Pretty efficient 90-minute, 2-hour session. As ever, first session we're going to set baseline numbers with this. Make sure everything's good, make sure everything looks pretty, and then from there we're going to look to overload in the next following week. So I'm excited. Always when you get a new split, you're kind of like excited, you get that sort of anxious, nervous sort of feeling going into the gym. So it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. And like I said, 6 weeks now to give it my absolute all. I remember telling you guys it was 10 weeks, fucking 6 weeks now. It's going to be 2 weeks soon, and eventually I'm going to be on prep, and eventually it's going to be like 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, peak week. So it's going to come around very, very quickly. So let's get into this session. Enough waffling. Had the pre-workout.
Oh no, now we glad we bruise like witch. Spot me your up, man's letting it rip. War is war, no settling this. They ain't got touch, they ain't telling you this. Yo, punching his big mouth. Angle got ying down, and a white boy got ying down. One track skateboard still got ying down. They know not Casey's been round. Silver up, man spin round.
Really nice exercise that. Like, it's the only exercise that I actually directly feel like on my lats, like really well. AJ's written me some cues to do. So he wants me to do a 2 count on contraction for set number 1, and continuous. He wants me to do continuous on set number 2, sort of semi-supine sort of grip. So we're looking roughly about there. With these last warm-ups, you need to make sure everything's on point, everything feels good before you go into that working set. Right, set number 1 is 6 to 10 reps. I use the Strength Shop blue straps if anyone gives a fuck. Really good, good quality. Come on then. Come on then, Georgie boy. Come on, get it. Fuck, that was good. Fired. Good exercise to start off with, especially if it's hard to get short. Prioritize those exercises first, like pull downs should come first. And again. Big one, big one, big one. Come on, come on. Oh, I started to get short. Fucking hell. Matched both sides, which is always a good thing. I always try and say if you've got like an imbalance between your left and your right, start with your weaker side first. Pressure, makes sense, set the standards. Rather than fatiguing yourself on one side and going on to your weaker side, you're more likely going to drop reps because of that. So always start with your weaker side if you do have imbalances. Big one. Yep. Get it short, get it short, get it short, get it fucking short. Would you count that last rep? 10 and a half. Oh yeah, quick one. Don't go straight into the other. If you're doing unilateral work, don't go straight into the other fucking arm. Give yourself 30 seconds to a minute. Preserve that energy, man. Because you're already fatigued on one side. How are you expected to give 100% effort when you've fucking already done one side? So just have a breather. Like if you're training hard, you're training to failure, you'll need that rest, trust me. If you train like a pussy, you won't need that rest.
Trap on pause, hands on swords, pop them doors, it's all for the cause. Me and Mags when she got bored, I gave him 3 but it should have been 4. How many gaps?
If you're struggling to contract like your mid back, one thing you try and do is before you start rowing is actually just try and retract those shoulders a little bit. So retract, then row. Give it a try. Like if you really struggle, don't just row, just pick the handle up and just row. Think about retracting first. So bring back those shoulders, chest up. About 3 plates, I'm gonna say, heavy as fuck. So if I can beat it today, I'll be happy with that. I'm not gonna push it though, come on. That was dodgy then, the fucking plate moved as soon as I lifted up the weight. Must be careful now, I'm gonna get Jack to spot me.
Come on. Tight from the start. Take it off with your upper back, yeah? Think about your upper back when you take it off. Thinking about it.
Right, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Mine.
Elbow drive. Drive them out a bit more, out. Yeah, come on. Even more again. Drive your elbows out, drive them out. Yeah, come on. Out. Back. Come on, there's a few more in there. Let's go, keep grinding. Let's go. Come on. Fire your elbow. Drive.
Thanks. Not bad, it's heavy as fuck though, that. So heavy. The grips are fucking thick. I only got little girl hands as well. Come on. Heavy boy. Nice, I feel that. I didn't think I'd feel it as well as I did. Just shortening that range, just find that peak contraction. Nice.
Head got dug out. Ooh, cause my brain did bug out. What? Pull up, bang, no, run out. Bang this gun out to something, get rub out. That chest and head get dug out.
Cool. Torso is at a 15-degree angle. So lean back. Automatically when I lean back, I'm engaging my lats a little bit more. I'm also staying within my active range of motion. So me going out of this position, I'm just promoting more bicep, more front delt. Whereas if I keep my active range, so this is my active range, just constant tension on the lats. So try it, slight lean back, so active range, you'll hit your lats way more. One count in the lengthen, one count in the shorten. Just drop the weight a little bit just because I want to make sure I get to the higher rep in the set rather than the lower end. Because when you aim for like 5-6 reps on a pull down, majority of it's not going to be lat, it's going to be a little bit more bicep, you know, that sort of thing. So I'm going to aim for more of the higher rep in the set. Feels nice. Elbows in front of you. The only bad thing about this is grip. Like your grip, you can't use straps for it. So maybe I might use chalk, but I don't, you know, it's such a nice attachment. I don't want to ruin it by liquid chalk, you know? Grip. We'll have to short that next time. I wasn't happy with that. Like, we got to 6th rep and I was like, my fucking grip is going here. I just wrote on my notes, use chalk next time on the wide grip pull down. So little things like that, I just write little notes underneath the exercises, just so if I do come up here, back in here next and I don't know the setting, I just look at my logbook and my setting, I know the setup of the machine, rather than chopping and changing it every single time and then it feels different every single time you do it. And you might be able to use less weight, you might be able to use more weight, just standardize it. One set of 8 to 10, one set of 10 to 12, one count in the short on both sets, upper back, biased, loading, or middle pin. Cool.
Kick back mad 3-2 it roars. Still in the hood but I take them tours. Trap on pause, hands on swords. Pop them doors, it's all for pause.
The one at home I can do 5 plates a side. Obviously I'm doing this deeper into the session, which take that into consideration, but yeah, it just feels a little bit heavier. Come on then, Geordie boy. Every fucking session now, boy. These are the ones. That was too fucking heavy. I overshot that one a bit. It happens. Like I said, normally I do that for set 12 back at home. I'm just blaming the machine, babe. I blame myself. Weak boy. Not happy with that. Shit top set. Make up on this one, man. Oh yeah. And again. Thought I'd get more on both sets. So sometimes that happens, you know. I let the sets dictate my session. Like just 1-2 sets didn't go as well. Doesn't mean the set or doesn't mean the session's shit. It's just you learn for that next time, you know. But I could have done better. And there's always next time, you know. The gym's always going to be there. It's next time.
My brain did bug out. Pull out, bang, no, run out. Bang this gun out to something get rubbed out. I don't even know they're young G's. I don't really care for them. Fuck them. Do your research on your elders. Like I would never ride for them. Never. One got bullied at school, and the other one used to fancy men. Fish. They been yinged up plenty. Like each and every one of them.
elbow drive. Forget your hands. Elbow drive. Elbow drive. Elbow drive. Elbow drive. Elbow drive.
And again.
It's all about lengthening now. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. One more. On this one, kick your ass, stretch it, kick your ass back, kick your ass back, kick your ass back, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Now bring your hips in, bring your hips in, bring your hips in, bring your hips in. And on this eccentric, drag your elbows to the floor, kick your ass back, kick your ass back. Hold it there, keep tension on, keep tension on, keep tension on. 3, 2, 1, contract. Oh. How nice is that?
Yeah. To be fair, I must admit, when I saw this in the program from AJ, I was a little bit like, never been keen on pull downs, but he told me to hold it at 2 count in length and range.
Well,
and just think about elbows.
Well, that's the thing. You can either do it at the start of your session when you're trying to work the short and range, which is good for it, but it's also really good in the length.
And the thing is, you don't even need enough. You don't even need much weight for that. That's 27.3 kg, not much, and I'm fucking dripping like a motherfucker. And it's probably the best my lats have felt all session. I was going to do another set because it felt that good, but AJ's only prescribed.
Oh, nutty!
AJ's only prescribed.
See what he does with me, like comes over, gives me.
Only one set, that's it. I'm not going to do any more. No. AJ, if you're watching, this is one set there, mate. I was going to do another one because it felt that good. Here we have a wild Jack Thorburn. Casually hammering curl the 30 kilo dumbbells. Pretty much most people press that, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Jack's just hammer curling it with pretty good form. A lot of screaming and shouting going on here. But it's not screaming and shouting if Jack don't do that, you know, on a day-to-day basis. If he put as much effort into his calf training like he does his bicep training, you know, he might have a good set of calves. I'm not sure if Gaz has got enough memory for this set. I think it might take probably 30-40 minutes to do this. I mean, keeping in mind, me and Jack are being at the gym at the same time. Jack's still on his first exercise and I'm nearly done. Lovely. Now he's going to show off with the camera. Lovely. Look at them calves, you know? Doing calf raise with them. Well, this is embarrassing. I think I'm going to do 7.5 kilos on a single arm preach curl. How embarrassing. That's embarrassing. It's 12 reps of 7.5 kilos. But I reckon this machine weighs a fair bit, I must admit. It's just an excuse. It's just fucking excuses. I make excuses all the time. Not good enough. I'm just not good enough, that's it. Quick little tip on preach curls. Just make sure that the padding, you're locked into it like that. And your elbows on the pad, so you're restricted like that. Whereas if I'm up here, I can move a little bit. I want to be locked into this. Didn't even reach the rep range there. That was 10. Childish. Try this next time when you're doing curls. So elbows behind you, and instead of thinking about curling it like this, just think about keeping that elbow in that fixed position and contract. So like this. This is the movement you want to do. Honestly, tell me how your biceps feel afterwards. Woohoo, wee wee. That is fucking pumped. Another thing I forgot to mention was when you're back here, try and flex your triceps so you're fully lengthening that bicep, and it's just that movement there. That elbow stays fixed. The range of motion is a little bit shorter, but fucked. My biceps haven't been that pumped in fucking ages. You know, it just goes like flat. But it's that pump, you can't fucking contract it. Jesus Christ.
3 but should have been 4. How many guys turned corpse? This ain't beef for my life, it's war. Kick back mad 3-2 it roars. Still in the hood but I take them tours. Where before man splashed up, did you forget that I got down? Crashed up.
Really nice actually, just to let you know. Really nice. Best my rear delts have felt in that. I sometimes, as weird as it sounds, yeah, I square up to this, every machine I do, I square up to the fucker like that. Don't know why. It's just having that head forward that allows me to round my shoulders and then I'm isolating my rear delt like that. Whereas if I'm more upright, chances are I'll probably use a lot more of my trap. So little things like this is just round the shoulders, then think about contracting the rear delt rather than keep that chest up. The traps are very powerful. One of your biggest muscles in your upper body. So try and make sure even with side lateral raises, rear delts, you're really trying to isolate it. Good session, really good session. Really enjoyed that. AJ, if you're watching this, cheers mate. So a really good pull one session to begin with. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I love hip hinging. When I go into a session and there's a hip hinge, I'm like, fuck yeah, like this is like deadlift day. So when I see like chest supported T-bar row, I'm a little bit like, but I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I've got momentum to build now. Moving on to the next session, which I'll obviously will keep recording and showing you how I'm going to be progressing over the next sort of 6 weeks of this off-season left. Every session counts now. Muscularity-wise, is something that I've just never had on stage. Like I've never had like a big presence on the stage. Certainly in 2019 as well, the judges gave me feedback and said, your back is weak, your back is weak, your back is weak. And I'd like to say from now, going into this season, I think some of my rear shots are some of my best poses. So I've been able to turn my weaknesses into strengths. So for me, enjoyed it. Overshot some things like the chest supported prime row, overshot that a little bit more than what I would like, but this is the reason why I do this sort of stuff. You know, I'm not a perfectionist. I love training, you know, it's my job, it's my passion, I thoroughly enjoy it, but I'm also still learning. And I'm very confident going into the next session that I do in this rotation, I'll see some very quick acute changes just through the novelty of getting used to this setup. So I'll become more efficient, and that's why I always say your first sessions that you do on a new program is just set baseline numbers. Don't go with any expectation. Don't put any pressure on yourself to do this, do that. Build momentum, something I've been speaking about massively lately. And then that will build your confidence and you'll be more happier and you'll reflect on the sessions and it will be good. You know, you won't reflect on your sessions and go, that was shit. Like for me, in the past like year, I've probably had like one shit session ever. Like one shit session. So try and use that as like momentum building going into the next session, you'll do very well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've recorded a full day of eating, which was the previous video that you probably watched, hopefully. Plenty more content to come over these next sort of 6 weeks of the off season. And yeah, like I said, this year is all about leveling up and being a better version of myself through content. I just want to be better. You know, I'm always striving for more, always want to be a better version of myself, whether it's business related, bodybuilding, content creation. and I'm hoping that you'll see that throughout this channel and this video. So yeah guys, lots of love, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.